Jib News viewers can see the first illegal Channel migrants to arrive in the UK since Labour came into power last week. And let's cross now to Dover and speak to our Home and Security Editor, Mark White. Mark, welcome to the show. So, a new government, a new dawn, the same old problems. Yvette Cooper today vowing the Border Security Command will be a major step change in UK enforcement efforts. But, Mark, it appears the people smugglers didn't get the memo. They're still rolling in.
Well, they are, and that's all to do really with the break in the weather. After a week of bad weather, conditions improved overnight, and that allowed the people smugglers to start pushing off the boats from the shores of France again. And just hours after that first boatload of 64 migrants crossed illegally and were picked up by Border Force and taken here to Dover, we can now confirm that a second small boat is attempting to make that crossing. That small boat is making slow progress according to our sources. It might not make it to UK waters, often they don't, but it's making its way slowly but surely towards that halfway point. If it does get there, it'll probably be into the evening, but it just shows you, as I say, the second that the weather conditions improve, and it's starting to bubble up a little bit in the channel at the moment, but when there are those breaks in the weather, that's when the people smugglers are pushing the boats out, irrespective of whatever government is in power at one time and says, just like the last government said, that they're going after the people smugglers, because that's exactly what Rishi Sunak's government and, of course, Liz Truss and Boris Johnson before them tried to do with smashing the people smuggling gangs, giving ever more money to the French to try to stop them launching from the beaches there in the first place. But you're right, Yvette Cooper today has said, Martin, that this new Border Security Command will work in a different way. There will be more resources, money that should have gone to the Rwanda scheme now being funneled into the Border Security Command. That will mean more staff and more in the way of expert resources such as the intelligence services to go after the gangs further up the chain.
Setting up a major new approach to law enforcement against the criminal gangs who are undermining our border security and putting lives at risk. This will be a major new Border Security Command that will bring together the work of the National Crime Agency, the work of the Border Force, the work that happens along the Channel, but also the way that these networks stretch right across Europe to go after the gangs that are profiting from this dangerous trade in people and undermining our borders.
So Yvette Cooper there is confident that the new approach that they are adopting, bringing together many of the agencies that have already been brought together already across the other side of the Channel and working with their colleagues in Europe and elsewhere to smash the gangs. She's convinced that the new command as set up by the new Labour government will actually be more effective than what's gone before.
So, Mark, the big question is there anything remotely new under the bonnet of this, or is it stuff we've all heard before? Is it merely reheated offerings?
Well, I think critics of this scheme as put forward by the new Labour government would suggest that it is reheated. I think it is true to say that there will be millions of pounds of extra funding that's going into this new command, money that would have gone to the Rwanda deterrent, which is no longer going there, as Keir Starmer confirmed over the weekend that it is now dead and buried. But in doing that, of course, there is an interesting dilemma for this new government going forward in what to do with those asylum seekers, failed asylum seekers that they want to get rid of from the UK and indeed other illegal immigrants. What do you do when they are, like so many of those coming across in the small boats from countries like Iran and Syria and Iraq, countries that you would never be able to send those asylum seekers back to because it would be disputed and successfully disputed in the court. So what do you do with these people if you don't have a country like Rwanda, a safe third country, to send these people to?